Nope, you're actually totally out of
Out of camera.
Will you video
You're
all
safe.
your
We
meetings?
do, and then we put them all on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so anybody can watch them even if they can't come and
Interesting.
sit with us. Yeah. So we will go ahead and officially call this meeting to order. It's June 15th, Wednesday. This is the Broadwater County Commissioners' General Business Meeting. We have Debbie Havens, Helena City Clerk, Lori Lattis, Executive Director at RMDC, Commissioner Susan Good-Giese from Lewis and Clark County, and
Kathy Marks.
Kathy Marks and
Chrissy Irie.
Chrissy Irie, thank you. From Rocky Mountain Development Council, Head Start, Senior Dinner Club, Conjugate Meals, Meals on Wheels, Affordable Senior Housing, County Involvement Decision. So welcome, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Can I jump in?
Yes,
Okay, 'cause
absolutely.
try and stop me feeling. Thanks a lot for letting us visit with you today, and I just wanted to give you a county commissioner's perspective, and I won't take very long. But in my experience, now I've been on the commission for 3 years, and my very first assignment that I was given, as you all know, you sit on a lot of boards, and I was assigned to the Rocky Board. It's been a tremendous experience, and the reason that I'm so fired up for this particular organization is that there is hardly a person in your county, regardless of their demographic, that is not or could not be impacted by the services that Rocky offers. And everything from feeding seniors to helping little kids get a good start in life. I'm sure in your county, like in mine, you have a lot of people who just need a little help, not a huge amount, a little bit, maybe like with getting their house weatherized or something like that. It is a great service to people that is of all walks of life, all economic strata, that is delivered in the most efficient way possible. And we at Lewis and Clark are huge believers in the work that Rocky does. And a couple of years ago, these guys had some pretty rough financial times that they went through, and they sucked it up and buckled down, and they're on sound financial footing now, and they are going into the future, and it's primarily because of the individuals who are sitting over here to my right. I have great faith in them, as do the rest of my colleagues, and I recommend this organization most highly of all the groups I work with, except the weed board. I love the weed board. But this organization does an absolutely terrific job. So that's my, and if you have any questions for me, I'll try to answer them.
And I'll just say in very few words, I've been on the Rocky Board for a long time, like 15 years. And it's the core mission that we survive on, and we've done very well. And it's really important to have a representative from Jefferson and Broadwater counties, because we do serve the counties out here, and we like input. We don't know what's going on in Townsend all the time, or Boulder. But if we have a representative on our board, we keep informed. And that's what we're asking of, if you guys would consider appointing either one of yourselves or a representative from the county commission to the Rocky Board. And Lori, you're gonna go ahead and jump in on the financial request.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is just give you a little bit of stats, I guess, about the programs that we run that are in your county. I know that you're aware of the fact that we own the Townsend Homestead Manor, and we manage and control the Townsend Housing Inc. property. And our director of affordable housing had told me before I came down here that she really wanted me to assure you guys that we're definitely committed to keeping the subsidies in place, that are supportive, to the people that need them. And I think there's always rumors going around, and probably it's just the way it happens in our society where people hear things, but we are definitely committed to preserving the subsidy and keeping those places affordable. And I think right now we're actually looking at the possibility of doing some rehabilitation to the Towns, I believe it's Townsend Housing Inc., because the manor, I think we've already done that part. So that is affordable housing. We also do pull in people in our first-time home buyer counseling program from here. And our director of that program said she believes she had about a dozen people in 2015 that came through that program. So just wanted to let you guys know that. We have a place we call Townsend House that we own here that we do a Head Start program out of. And I have to look at my notes for the stats that Patty gave me. We served 16 children in that program this year. And out of that group, 7 of them are going to kindergarten in the fall. Children had class for 130 days, and the average daily attendance was 91%, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things that Head Start does tend to struggle with is attendance, and that is a great statistic. The 16 children were from 15 different families. 2 of them were struggling with disabilities. 12 children were enrolled on the last day. There's 3 staff that are employed by the program. And the program purchases meals from the senior center, breakfast and lunch, and they feel that the community is really supportive here of that program. The next thing I want to talk about is Walt Hanley's meal nutrition program. Commodities distributed in Broadwater County during fiscal 15, which is I think the most recent year that he has full stats for, that he delivered 23,808 pounds of food, valued at $15,230 to an average of 62 individuals a month. In the Congregate Meals Daily Dinner Club, we refer to it as, 3,747 meals were provided in the 11 months so far in fiscal year 16. Meals on Wheels has delivered 4,237 meals. The senior center there, the meals program employs a full-time person and 4 part-time individuals, and we purchase groceries from the local market here in Townsend. And the last thing I wanted to mention is we have a senior companion here as part of our senior companion program, and a handful of RSVP or retired senior volunteers that work in this county.
Do you want to talk just a little bit about what a senior companion does?
Yeah, if you're not familiar with that, a senior companion is is the age limit 55? Okay, so you have to be 55 to be in the program, and there are requirements for income because these individuals who become senior companions are paid a stipend. It's not very much, it's $2.65 an hour, but it's a little bit of money that helps them make ends meet. And they are matched up with people who need assistance, whether it's just companionship or help in their home or travel to doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, basically helping them with things that they need. So we feel pretty happy about what the senior companions in our organization are able to do. It helps people stay in their homes longer.
We have one of those in our community.
Yep, there's one in Broadwater County.
Okay.
So that's kind of a little bit about what we do and how we are in your county. And so we brought some informational packets for you. You can read these at your leisure. It gives you just a little bit more detail
Thank you.
about the programs. And in the center, you'll find a legal size sheet of paper, which gives you some numbers. And as long as I've been at Rocky, I've been there for 3 years. I started as the finance director almost exactly 3 years ago. And in September of 16, I became 15.
15.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
We're not there yet.
In September of 15, I became the interim executive director, and in January, officially became the executive director. So in the time that I've been at Rocky, I don't believe we've come down and met with you in person. But I understand that over many years, you all have allocated a portion of your mill money to us, and for that, we are very appreciative. It helps us keep our programs, our senior programs going. And every year, we have a pretty formal meeting with Lewis and Clark County for which we prepare this information. And so we wanted to bring you all the same thing that we give to the other counties when we're asking for support. And so this spreadsheet might seem a little overwhelming, but what it's doing is it's showing you for the last 4 years, starting with fiscal 13, what we've received from each of the counties. In Broadwater County, we are expecting by the time it's all finished to receive 28,000 in fiscal 16, and we are requesting a small increase. It's 1.5%, if that's possible, to that. And then below, the next part of the spreadsheet is showing you how we've allocated the senior mill, or the senior county mill funding that we've gotten from all 3 counties and which programs they go to. Do you want to add anything, Chrissy? Do you have anything to point out?
I guess I would say the 1.5% increase that we're asking for this year is equivalent to the Lewis and Clark County increase that we're receiving. And we project out over the next 2 fiscal years, just showing where we will end up given a certain increase.
I know it's a lot of detail to take in all at once, so,
It's good information to have though.
and you guys are welcome, you know, after we're all done here today, to call us
Sure, I do.
and ask questions, email us anytime.
Mhm.
And if you need us to come back with decision day, just let us know and we'll be available to answer questions.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
excellent. One of the things that I'd like, you know, you guys to address, if you could, is since there have been mills from our taxpayers going to Rocky in the past, and I don't know how far back it goes, can you talk about maybe why you want one of us on the board?
Well, I can tell you as a county commissioner, that it is, I think it's a good, very good way to keep abreast of what is going on, within the larger community, because of the different kinds of people, like anybody can come to the seniors, for example, for lunch. Anybody, you know, I mean, we have all kinds of children that are impacted, and it just is a good way to keep your finger on the pulse of the community. But as county commissioners, you guys know about what is happening in your town, and if there are things that you observe here that Rocky needs to know about, that's the very best way to communicate, is to have somebody on the board. In the 3 years that I've been on the commission and the 3 years I've been on this board, I have found it a good way to communicate with, you know how when we go to Mako, that's all good, well and good, I guess. But boy, it's really, because I'm usually sitting right next to Bob Mullen out of Jefferson. He and I are talking on the side, not during the meeting, otherwise we'll get scolded. But it's just a good way to be with your neighbors, find out what's going on. We all need to work together, swap information. You know, we're having a little challenge right now with an elected official, and I know that you guys occasionally have those as well. And so, you know, Bob Mullen's given me some terrific advice and some pointers, been around a long time. And, but it's just important, I think, for your community and making sure that your taxpayers' dollars are being spent in a way that you approve. And our financial staff gives great reports and are able to answer pretty doggone detailed questions. So I think that as a commissioner, being on that board, it makes sure that you're a good steward of your taxpayers' dollars.
I would like to also explain a little bit more about the structure of Rocky, and we are what's called a community action agency, or a CAP agency. I actually learned a little bit more about the history of this yesterday in a meeting with other directors across the state of organizations just like Rocky. And when the War on Poverty began in 1964, the legislation that basically created these community action agencies, it was all about helping people in poverty get more self-sufficient. And in the 80s, they changed the name to HRDC, Human Resource Development Councils. But we still are referred to as CAP agencies. One of the unique aspects of a CAP agency is that we have what's called a tripartite board. And so no matter how many people are on our board, 1/3 of the board has to be representative of the low-income population that we serve. 1/3 is required to be from the public sector, and 1/3 is at large. It can be anybody, you know, and you typically wanna have someone with some legal background, someone with some finance background. But the 1/3 that has to be from the public sector is where I think many, many years ago, because we serve the Tri-County area, I don't think it has to be a county commissioner, but that is just how Rocky wrote their bylaws, and for all the reasons that Susan mentioned, felt that the best way to get public representation was to have somebody from the county commission in each of those counties to be on the board. And then Debbie represents the public sector as well as a representative of the city.
But her
So-
hat here today is that she's the president of the Rocky.
Right, so anyways, that's where the whole, we have to have somebody from the public sector, and we really, really want to have a commissioner on our board, because we just feel it's really valuable. Do you have any
Thank you.
questions about that?
That's exactly what I wanted to know.
Okay,
Yeah, that structure, and then, of course, watching our people's money and
Mhm.
being responsible to them for how it's spent. I think, you know, Susan, you touched on that, and I think it's an important point.
And if, you know, if it is not possible, obviously, obviously you would like to have a county commissioner, is my opinion. If you cannot get a county commissioner, then please send somebody from your organization. I'm not comfortable making decisions for Broadwater County without Broadwater County.
Sure.
It just, I mean, gosh, it should matter, you know.
Right.
And I don't wanna send all of it up to Augusta.
And I'll put in, I think the county commission, because you're full-time, is imperative to be on the board. I'm the city representative, because the mayor and commissioners are part-time, so that as city clerk, they appointed me as their representative, so I report out to the mayor on what's going on at Rocky.
But a commissioner would be preferred,
Yes,
but not to you, Deb.
no, I don't wanna be the commissioner. So do you have any questions?
No?
Okay.
A lot of this,
You've
I
heard
knew,
before?
the survey
Yeah.
you're doing stuff like senior companion, all that, I know a little bit about all that
Right,
stuff,
right.
and Meals over here,
Yeah.
and Meals on Wheels, you know.
Mhm. And do you get good feedback from over there, from the senior?
I always have, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good. Do you eat in the dinner club?
Do I eat there? One time, me and Elaine went over one time.
I have not. Sorry.
I go every other week.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a fabulous time. The food is great. The company, those guys wanna know what's going on.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
a nice time to chat.
Yeah.
I get stuck over there for a couple hours.
Mhm.
But
We
it's
have
a nice
regulars.
stuff.
I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
People that go every day.
Yeah. And it's great because that's the social
Mhm.
outlet, and,
Mhm.
you know, I know a lot of those folks, they are not gonna cook for one.
Mhm.
They get a good wholesome meal, they take home a little bit for dinner, breakfast is a piece of toast. They've got, you know, the nutrition because of that place there.
Mhm.
It's their main source of nutrition,
That's the
and
goal.
when we have snow days in Augusta, and we lost power for a couple of days, and it was really, it's a serious thing for these seniors, and with your Meals on Wheels delivers, I mean, I'll bet you guys have people like we do that really work hard and bust through the drifts and everything, getting to where they're going. And some of the most conservative people I know, they might not be very big on a lot of government, but boy, I'll tell you what, when it comes to feeding people, it just seems like everybody's for that. And these guys do such a great job on pretty much of a shoestring budget. Got some tasty food coming out there, which, like I say, is a primary source of nutrition for a lot of these people.
Yeah, that Meals on Wheels, I think is great. I've known a lot of older people that you get too old to drive and you're still getting around pretty good, but, it's a big help.
It keeps them in their homes longer, and so that they, they're not coming on to, into your nursing homes and Medicaid and all the rest of that stuff. It's just probably the most efficient tax dollar that's ever spent.
Yeah. My parents did it growing up. We always took meals out for Meals on Wheels, so I see the value, and I'm from Michigan, so I think it's a wonderful program that helps the elderly still keep that independence.
Exactly.
And it's real important to them.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's really
Yep.
important to them.
Yeah. When my grandfather had to go into a nursing home, that was more devastating to him than anything. It's just his independence. So this is a huge asset.
So for people who've worked there real hard their whole life.
Yep.
Getting kind of towards the end of the string sometimes allows them to stay in their homes. I just think that it's just better for everybody's quality of life.
Yeah.
And it can be a wellness check for people too,
Oh, for
they
sure.
don't see people, and, our
Right.
Meals on Wheels driver will drop in, and, if they don't answer the door, they'll make sure that they know that
Yeah.
someone's safe.
Funny story on that. I used to be a sheriff's deputy here, and the Meals on Wheels went to a house and no response. So I got a call because I was also a coroner. So I kicked in the door because we didn't know what was going on. He had been at the VA, so we had to replace his door. so it is true. That's a huge,
Yeah.
It is.
where, sometimes you wouldn't know what's going on, so this is a good aspect for that
That's
too.
preferable to someone being in there who could incapacitate.
Right,
So,
yep.
I'm sorry you had to replace a door.
Yeah, well, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, true.
So,
I almost forgot, Patty gave me some of our annual reports for Head Start
Oh, good.
to hand out to you guys.
And one of the statistics that we always get a report on with Head Start that always makes me feel good, because I'm pretty much of a conservative, kind of a hard-nosed sort of guy, is that the demand that we have that Head Start kids come to school, because that's how they learn to come to work. School's preparation for the future. And because they're not going to be preschoolers forever. I used to teach middle school, and I would be pretty hard on a kid, and I'd say, because you're not going to be a seventh grader forever. Because pretty soon, when you're a young mom or a dad, you're going to need to do things that you like and things that you don't. But that is one of the challenges sometimes that a lot of these kids have, is getting to school. But it's good for everybody to get up, get dressed, and get out the door and get to school. And the earlier kids can learn that, the better off they will be. So, and a lot of our kids come with some real deficiencies at home, but it's really thrilling to me as a board member and as a county commissioner to see the progress that kids make through the year. And it gives me hope. It gives me a little spark of hope at the meeting, because the person who is our Head Start coordinator is an absolutely extraordinary woman, and clearly loves the kids, but also knows that when you expect good things, you'll get good things. And so the expectations are high, and that's a good thing for these kids for their whole life.
A hallmark of that Head Start program as well is parent involvement. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but it goes beyond what you think of in a typical preschool. There's a lot of family contact, and there is the expectation when your child is in that program that you'll be involved in some way, helping in the classroom or, you know, building a project with your child, and it's a really good program.
Yeah, it's essential.
It
It's
is.
good to have that. My daughter was special ed teacher for years and years, and that's, of course, this is back up, I guess it'd call it middle school probably, you know, and the parent involvement is terrible. They just don't have to, they'll set up these meetings and stuff, and they don't show up, and it's,
Yeah, it's hard.
but
to
evidently
overcome.
in this lower part, it's pretty good. Just like you were saying, 91% attendance, that's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
better than any public school,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
so, I mean, I just think it's good training them for life, for their life in the future.
It helped our son. Our son went through Head Start here in town, and it was, he loved it.
That's good, so you've had a first-hand experience.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and the ladies here, when he went through, were just wonderful. And I think my wife helped a little bit too, because she was an aide at the school, so she split time. So it was really a huge benefit.
Nice.
You know, anytime you have parental involvement in a school, I think it's really helpful, because sometimes, as a parent, you know, you either think, oh my God, my kid he's the best, he's so fabulous. Or you think, oh, my kid's so far behind. So then you get there with the peers, and you see how your kid is in relation. And it gives a parent a much clearer idea. So I think that it works for a whole bunch of reasons, you know.
Yeah.
And, and a lot of these kids, and sometimes this is their first trip to the dentist, or, you know, they have,
Right.
you know, people come in, and it's just really a positive thing. And they have their own fundraising that they do, out in the community, and the young parents put it on, and it's a good thing.
Again, to the involvement.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, little skin in the game.
Yeah. One other question I have is on the Agency on Aging. Years ago, I think it was a commissioner maybe a month, Elaine Gravely and I started together. And Chris Augenis came to see us, and he said, we have these two boards, they're kind of, you know, parallel to each other, and we want a commissioner on each one. Can you speak to why, and I've been on Agency on Aging ever since, can you speak to why you would want different commissioners on those two boards, and what the relationship is between Agency on Aging and Rocky?
I would really like to table that response for now, if you don't mind, because we are currently in the process of trying to discern what the differences are. I mean, I will tell you that Area 4 on Aging is a program of Rocky Mountain Development Council. And Rocky Mountain Development Council, of course, has a governing board, and you know, that's really at the top of the food chain, I guess you could say, for all of the programs that we run. The exact necessities and responsibilities of the separate board, we're in the process of working through.
All right, good.
Would that be the best way to answer
That's
it?
a great summary, because we are asking ourselves.
We're asking the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that started a couple years ago, so I'm glad that it's still going.
Yes, it is still going.
Good.
And you are representing, you're on that Area 4 board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Elaine used to be on the Rocky board.
Right.
Yeah, and then we'd come back here to these meetings, and she would share that part, I would share the other part, and it was really a nice information sharing opportunity for us. I think for the whole community, anyone who was listening in. Yeah.
Well, more to come.
Okay, good, all right. I'm excited to hear that.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Is it? No.
No,
I'm
it's
thinking
there.
it's stormy.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like pouring down rain.
It did yesterday.
did.
Well, again, thank you for having us. We're available for any questions, follow-up as you read through the information. Our fiscal staff's great. Lori can answer anything. Susan and I are just handy. No, it's a good perspective, and we appreciate you taking it into consideration. It's a important that Broadwater County has a representative, and we'd appreciate it, and it's welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for asking us to come down.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, appreciate the
Thanks
time.
for delaying your trip.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Because I know you can't wait to hear, are we there yet?
Yeah,
Are we there
I
yet?
know,
I gotta go by.
for 13 hours in Boulder, yeah. I told my son that last night at a softball game in Helena, and we were driving home, and it was like 10:30 at night. He's like, "Oh, Dad, it's late." I said, "Tay, just think we'll only be out of Montana yet, but this time tomorrow." You know,
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
so, you know, gotta love kids.
What an experience for them.
Oh, yeah, we're excited, so. But I do appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice
Yeah.
meeting you.
Same here.
Nice to meet you all.
So Franklin, you recovered, huh? From our up and down flight?
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Oh,
have a good
yeah.
time?
That was good, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was fun. That was fun. We weren't on the zipping around helicopter like you whippersnappers.
No, we kept getting radio contact with you guys. Where are ya?
That was really,
The truth is, she was jealous.
I was crazy jealous. Yeah, I heard all about it.
She wanted to be in that exciting.
The zippy doodah,
That was a great experience.
the dart and dive. But I had been out on a weed spraying helicopter before. This was a whole different experience.
I've been once, I also worked at the sheriff's department for years. I was a reserve deputy for 20-some years. And on the fires, we usually do security with the Forest Service, you know. And the one time I mentioned to the head law enforcement officer, I said, "Hey, the security ought to see what the perimeter of this fire is." Next thing you know, he come over and says, had it all lined up, and it was a small one, you know, like
Right.
a bubble top. But it was so smooth too, it was great. That was 15 years ago, I guess.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Safe travel.
Yes, thank you very much. You ladies drive safe.
We will, thanks.
That'd be great.
We'll be heading back with the flow of traffic now.
Yes, yes, you
Yeah.
will.
That's not, I'm not looking forward to that part.
You said you had to pack up yet?
Yeah, I'm not even packed.
Jeez.
I'm in
Maybe
big
it's
trouble.
that mail out.
Exactly, yeah, I wish.
Safe travel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
You guys take care.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll get into Vegas pretty late
I
tonight.
know, I was kind of staring at it too, so I stopped right.
So, I did have one question, when I was looking through the report. Why was there such a decline, cut in between fiscal year 14 and 15?
You know what
Sorry,
happened
so
with,
15 and 16.
what happened with our hospital? Parallel.
Okay.
Same thing happened. They had a, Lewis and Clark actually ended up bailing them out by the tune of about $2 million.
Okay,
Again, parallel with our hospital. They
Sure.
saw the need, they saw the benefits and thought, we've gotta do everything we can to keep this going for our economy.
sure.
They had a CEO who just had gotten tired, and then, of course, the economy, and it was a perfect storm, and,
Okay,
that's what happened there.
okay.
Yeah, but, they have, just like our hospital, they have bounced back and,
Sure.
come back to providing those services.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just curious on why such a drastic cut.
yeah, there were a lot of cuts, a lot of revamping.
Okay.
Area 4 has been one of those things that they're looking at revamping.
Yeah, that Head Start program is really good, and even, they used to have me go in and talk to the kids when I was, an officer, and I'd go and read a book with them or do something with them. It's just a good program, and I love Meals on Wheels, just because my folks used to do it, so.
Yeah, so if you are still interested in serving on that.
I would,
it'd be great to
I
have
just
a
don't,
presence.
is that all on the community calendar when their meetings are?
I think so, and I
Okay.
can ask Debbie or Susan
Yeah,
to
that'd be
send you
great
an
if I
email.
could just get me an email.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I really would like to continue on that, so.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
All right, anything else for the good of the order today?
No,
All right, I will CC you and just send an email to
Perfect.
those guys right away.
Awesome,
All
thank
right,
you.
fantastic.
All right,
Meeting's adjourned at 8:35. Have a great trip.
thank you. I hope to. I have to go get my hair cut. She was on vacation. I went to get it last weekend, and the stinking barber was on vacation. It's
Oh,
like,
how nervy.
right?
I need it before I go on
What
vacation.
does she think she's doing?
No kidding. Oh my gosh.
So, you guys have a great week. We will see you in 2 weeks.
That sounds
All right.
great. Have
Oh,
fun.
2 weeks,
Yeah,
huh?
that's right.
Wow.
See you guys.
See ya. Thank you, Michelle. I sure appreciate you pinch hitting. Can't believe I forgot.
So Susan was commissioner for, is she,
Excuse me, please.
for what county?
Excuse me,
Lewis and
please.
Clark, okay, that's what I thought, but then it's, some of the stuff she said